Yeah, I agree with that. So that's a great lead into one of our guests here tonight, Anne Marie Alderson. Hi, Anne Marie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us. Anne Marie, one of the reasons, well, first let me introduce you to everyone who's here. Anne Marie hasn't been on any of our podcasts or webcasts yet. Anne Marie works with me in Pittsburgh as an associate coach, and I asked her to come on to the show tonight because she's got really practical experience from both an athlete's perspective as well as a coach's perspective. We'll get into your coaching input later, but Anne Marie, tell us what kind of experience you had in 2012. You were training for Ironman Arizona, and I was coaching you at the time, and we were having a lot of struggles with your nutrition. Tell us what that was like.
Well, I was putting in the highest volume of training that I think I've ever put in my life. I was working out probably 18 to 20 hours a week on average, but yet I was at the heaviest weight I've ever been at my life. And so that just didn't really make sense to me. It was like, when am I going to start getting lean? When am I going to start looking a little more muscular like a triathlete who's training for an Ironman? And my nutrition and fueling strategy at the time when I was doing workouts was power bar gels and the power bar drink, which is called Perform. And that was just sort of what was ingrained in everybody from the marketing was you need to eat carbs and eat a low-fat diet. So I was eating pasta around the clock and bagels and oatmeal for breakfast and whole grain sandwiches for lunch and fat-free yogurt and everything. And,
And the whole time I was encouraging you.
yeah, and the really frustrating part was that no matter how much I ate at any one sitting, 2 hours later I would be hungry again. And the thing that makes people laugh, but it's a true story, but I actually kept a box of cereal beside my bed because I would always wake up in the middle of the night and be starving, and that way I didn't have to get up and go downstairs to get myself food. I could just roll over and grab a handful of frosted mini wheats and munch on a couple and then go back to sleep. So that was my life when I was training, and that's only, I guess, the tip of the iceberg, because I would go out for these 6-hour rides and 2-hour run training bricks, and I would follow the instructions, and I would have a goo every 45 minutes or power bar gel or whatever, and I was drinking the electrolyte sugar water crap stuff now that I realize that's what it is. And then by the end of the workout, I would feel totally nauseated and just horrible. And I would then go refuel on more carbs because that's what we were sort of led to believe we were supposed to do. And then that night and the next morning, the only way I can describe how I felt is to say I felt hungover. I felt headachy, very foggy brain, couldn't concentrate at work the next day, and more than anything, just sick to my stomach. No food felt appealing, and everything that I ate just upset my stomach. So it was just a horrible, horrible experience.
And I remember that really impacted your ability to train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of that week. It would take several days to recover from those long weekends.
It did, because I just felt so fatigued, and at the time I thought it was from the workouts, but now I'm convinced that it was more from the nutrition.